The dorsal column-medial lemniscus (DCML) pathway is a sensory pathway that transmits information about fine touch, vibration, proprioception, and two-point discrimination from the body to the brain. Feeling very patient, some doctors think politically, and C comes before G are the mnemonics here for the pathway. Feeling very patient stands for fine touch, vibration, and proprioception. Fine touch is the ability to discriminate between two closely placed points of contact. Vibration is the ability to feel and perceive vibrations. Proprioception is the sense of your body's position and movement in space. Two-point discrimination is the ability to distinguish two separate points of touch. The feeling very patient reminds us the sensory nature of the pathway. To be patient also helps remember that the pathway waits to cross over, decussates, until it reaches the medulla, which is in a lower part of the brainstem, as opposed to the spinothalamic tract, which decussates immediately. A helpful mnemonic for the DCML pathway is some doctors think politically, representing the pathway's stages: sensory neuron, dorsal column, thalamus, and primary somatosensory cortex. 3 neurons travel up the spinal cord in the dorsal columns, cross the midline in the brainstem at the medial lemniscus, and finally synapse in the thalamus before sending signals to the somatosensory cortex. Let's dive into the pathway more closely. First of all, sensory receptors in the skin or joints send signals along the first-order neurons into the spinal cord. The cell bodes of the fibers are grouped within the peripheral nervous system are called dorsal root ganglion. Then the first-order neuron synapses with a second-order neuron in the brainstem's nucleus gracilis for the lower body, or nucleus cuneatus for the upper body. The axon of this neuron decussate to the other side of the body, and travels upward as part of the medial lemniscus. Fasciculus cuneatus is a nerve tract in the spinal cord that transmits sensory information from the upper body, which above spinal cord level T6, to the brainstem. Fasciculus gracilis is a nerve fibers in the spinal cord that transmits sensory information from the lower body, which below spinal cord level T6 to the brainstem. The fasciculus cuneatus is for the upper body, and the fasciculus gracilis is for the lower body. C of cuneatus comes before G of gracilis in the alphabet, and the upper body is above the lower body. Therefore, C comes before G is easy for us to remember that cuneatus is above gracilis. The medial lemniscus fibers then synapse with third-order neurons in the ventral posterolateral nucleus of the thalamus. Axons from the VPL then project superiorly through the internal capsule to the primary somatosensory cortex in the parietal lobe for conscious perception and interpretation of the sensation.